I'm just going to assume none of this is recording since none of what we were recording before was actually recording. Action.
And cut.
Take 3. Hi, welcome back, Ty.
Hi, welcome back to Ty. Hi, Ty.
Here we'll delve into the inner psyche of Tyler Moss.
What's my middle name?
Daniel. What's my middle name?
Is now the time that I tell you that I know your middle name? Should I do that on your podcast? On the podcast? I'm not gonna say it. You're that.
How
I don't
did you
like
find
that
out
stare.
my middle name?
You basically told me when you were intoxicated.
When was I intoxicated?
Not intoxicated, but
When?
when I was buying beers for us
When?
when we were bowling with everybody.
I told you my middle name?
No, but you gave me your ID. You slipped up. You real slipped up. Oh, your eyes just went dead.
Hi, welcome back to. I'm Cherin, and I'll be leaving now.
You can't know your headphones. All right.
Just kidding.
Under my leg.
I'm still here. I can't hear myself, but I believe that I'm still here.
Oh, very loud.
Was it?
I don't know how
I
to.
couldn't tell.
I don't know how to say it.
Say what?
Nothing.
You're goddamn right. You're not gonna say anything.
I'm never gonna say it out loud because I'm scared what would happen.
You better fucking not. Because if I'm to send this link to my friends, which would include Ninette, who does not know my middle name,
Okay, yeah, that's true.
you better not fucking say my middle name.
I couldn't dox you out here.
I've got to have at least one person who's still driven crazy by the fact
Yeah.
that they don't know my middle name.
And now, but I can be in on the joke now, at least.
Yeah, now you know how terrible it is.
I don't think that it is.
It's a bad middle name.
Is it a
Does
bad?
it suit me at all?
Do you think that it's a bad? I love this talking about it without saying it. I think that's a fun bit.
Leave a comment down below.
What do you
Guess
think our
what my
name is?
middle name is.
Can we tell them that it starts and ends with the same letter? Is that?
Sure.
That's all
yeah.
you get. I'm not even gonna
ahead.
tell you what letter, but you can.
I'll give you another hint. It's 6 letters long.
Okay, those are the 2 hints, and that's what you get. And
Leave your guesses.
let's see what you come up with,
I
Matt.
bet no one will guess it because it's so fucked up.
It's not. Can I ask, do you not like it as a name in general or as a middle name specifically?
As a name in general, I don't think middle names specifically really matter because people don't use them for anything.
Sure.
Unless you're that person who like goes by their middle name. But otherwise, like
My dad goes by his middle
yeah,
name. Because his dad's name was Jay, and he was Jay Jr., and he didn't want to be JJ, so he went by Kevin instead. So if it's something like that, I understand, but like
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like I have no reason to like go by Daniel.
But my middle name I don't think is suiting, and it's not the type of name that you would expect out of a Korean mom. Is the thing.
Oh, that's why?
I think that's part of it, and also part of it is the spelling of it, and also just like who the fuck comes up with this is
I can ask you after how it's supposed to be said out loud, but because we
Yeah.
can't. Oh, you can say it, and I can bleep it. That's fun.
Do you not know how it's pronounced then? Because I've only seen it on my ID. How do
Yeah.
you think it's pronounced?
Should I say it and then bleep it? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
you better fucking bleep it. But yeah,
I know. I promise. No, it's not. No.
if you don't, I will sue you for defamation.
Defamation, but all right.
Defamation.
Defaming.
Defaming
Is
me.
it? Because when I think about it, I feel like I want to say it with a Spanish accent, which is
Keep in mind that I am not Spanish.
I have to bleep. But is that how it's said then?
I don't know.
It's
I'm not
not-
Spanish. I don't know how it's supposed to be.
I would say like.
No.
It's like.
No, it's the white word. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's spelled with a fucking Y.
That's what makes me want to say it with a Spanish accent. I have to do 3 bleeps there.
It's gonna be a lot of
I'm not
bleeps.
gonna forget.
Not as many bleeps as your
I'm just
last
gonna-
episode, though.
True. It's just gonna be one long bleep for the whole time that we talk about
Make
it.
sure we add a bleep count in this episode.
Thank you for giving me another editing task. Appreciate it.
Hey, editing tie. Don't forget the bleep count. I have a hair on my arm. I can feel it, but I can't see it.
Would you like help with that? Okay, I can
Yeah.
do that.
What? You didn't get it?
I didn't get it.
Or maybe there was more than one because
No, I
I'm
got it.
balding. So
Oh, this is Cherin, and this is her cool shirt. Sorry, we weren't recording for
yeah.
that first part.
We had to restart this. We already technically introduced
Wait,
me.
are
but
we
here I am.
restarting? I'm just gonna use that part.
I thought we
to
weren't
use
recording
the
though.
intro. Yeah, we weren't recording the camera.
Original
We were
time
filming.
where like all the good content was. None of it was recording.
Well, we still got the audio, which is the most important part of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, but like, what's gonna be the visual while that audio plays?
Just our logo, our wonderful logo that Giulian designed.
It is a good logo. I did notice that when I watched that episode.
Thank you very much.
I was
appreciate
thinking about it.
We worked on it together.
It's a
That was
good
pretty
logo.
Nice and retro. That's the
Very
vibe we were
retro.
going for.
I'm a fan.
Hi, welcome back to.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So we've been going for a little minute, a little 20-minute.
How long are we supposed to go for?
We can do the haystack lie. God, I hate that's the name. That's forever the name because
Is that the name?
Of the segment is just haystack lie.
I thought it was like find the haste.
Find the
Find
line.
the lie in
But
the
then we
haystack.
eventually, after a couple iterations, decided on haystack lie because it's terrible and it's not a good name.
That's fair. Yeah. So the theme for
Okay.
this episode's story.
Oh, do you want to do it the first half or the second half? First half? We can do it now. Yeah,
First
sure.
half of what?
The podcast?
I mean, you're just gonna edit it in whatever order you want, right?
No, I usually do it how it's recorded. I've never
Oh.
switched them.
Well, then what do we talk about if we don't do this right now?
We just keep going and keep trucking. I'll open my notes and I'll tell you a good joke that I have, and you'll take a nice sip of.
I need this lime to
Corona.
be pushed down into my beer, though. Thank you. Dang, so all that ASMR content was
No, we have it.
Not
Just
recorded.
not. Oh, damn, dude. There were some good bits. There were some good visual bits there that we just don't have because I fucked up.
let it be known that Tyler was the one who fucked up.
I'm ashamed.
I'm just
Still going. Was that a yawn? What happened there?
I got a piece of a lime that just like went right into my mouth and was very tart.
Well, I apologize right now, but I'm going to cut to a close-up of that happening.
Science is very tiny. I'm definitely awake now. So, hi, welcome back to Eating Limes with Cherin and Ty.
Keeping lines. What was the you were texting me? What was the name? Oh, is it In Bed with Cherin and Ty and Cherin and Ty? Cherin and Ty
Yeah.
sounds better.
What's our couple name, though? Is it Tyron? Cheriler?
Cheriler.
Cherler?
Cheriler. God, they just keep getting worse. That's so good. Cheriler.
Stay tuned for a segment
Chai is
of
pretty good. What do you think of Chai?
In Bed with Chilerin.
What? I like that you got to start and end with yours, and mine's just shoved in the middle.
Yeah, I'm older and wiser.
You gotta bring that up every time.
You're a little baby. Your name gets like a small part in the middle, but mine
My
deserves
name's already
the
small.
precedent.
And your name, I like your name better than my name.
Except that everybody says my name wrong.
Yeah,
Whereas it's very hard for people to
Yeah, but
mispronounce
you don't even
Tyler.
care.
It's not
You
that I
had a
don't.
friend. How long did you know? What friend was that called you Cherin for like 2 years and you never
Multiple
corrected them?
friends.
Multiple,
Not just
There's
one
more than
person.
one?
Multiple people in my life have called me Cherin.
I'll be
for
totally
an extended
honest.
amount of time.
But before we started dating, when we matched, I was like, what is it? I totally thought it was Cherin, but I let you say it first when we met.
That's actually what I've been told by multiple people,
Mhm.
is that they've waited for me to say my name because they're too embarrassed to ask. So you're not the only one. But yeah, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't really notice because it's hard for me to
The
pay attention to things anyway. So
The
when
difference.
people are saying my name, it's just like I'm like
Hey, turn.
anything that ends in, I'm like,
Is that me?
did someone say my name?
Yes.
Yeah.
How may I help
What's
you?
up? And even on the phone, it's sort of crazy how often I get someone being, and I don't know why people ask it. I think it's mostly like middle-aged or older people who, after they've like had a conversation with me where I've helped them with something over the phone, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like who am I speaking with? What was your name?"
Mhm.
And I say, it's always the same thing. I take a deep breath. What did you say your name was? Cherin?
You have to compose yourself. What was that? How was it? How do you Sharon?
Sharon? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that made me so sad.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Sharon. I'll see
yeah,
you soon. I'll be
yeah.
there in like 10 or 15 minutes. Thanks for all your help.
You remember when we after I think it was after when we went to our short film screening. We were on the
Where we missed your short film.
That's a good story. I don't think we've told that one. We can go through that. We've never even talked about the movie that we actually watched.
The time traveling one.
Oh, God. Jesus, I don't believe that happened, man. That made me so upset. I don't believe we sat through that whole movie. Okay. So
Why didn't you guys make
over.
a feature film? Why did you settle for a short
Because
film
it would
when
have
you could
turned
have
out
made an hour and a half long?
It would have turned out exactly like the one that we watched, which I must say, I have to say, it wasn't like awful.
It was better than EMP 333 days
I
or
believe
whatever
you.
the fuck that
I
was.
100% believe you. I didn't even watch a trailer for that, and I know that you're correct. But still, if you could, there was so much about. Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
Rewind.
Thank you for that sound effect. I'm gonna save that. Put it on a soundboard. So we Tim and I, and Tim, Giulian was involved. Nick was an actor. Everybody. We made a short film. And we submitted it to some film festivals, and it got some accepted at the Scottsdale Film Festival, and there was a screening for it. And we went. It was like a later night screening. I don't remember exactly what time it is, but like all of our like friends and family, most of our friends and family of everybody involved came to the screening, and we were. How many movies were in the thing? Like 3?
Yeah, I think it was
I think like 3 or
maybe
4 maybe.
Yeah.
But I know that one of them got like
the first one.
Yeah.
They didn't play it. Yeah.
So we went, and we were just like there was one movie within the lineup that was like it was an hour and a half long. But we knew that going in, and we were just like, please be at like the end, so that we don't have to watch it. And we got there maybe 5 minutes late, less than 10. It was less than 10 minutes late. And to be fair, our film was less than 10 minutes. But we got there a little bit late, and we go in, and do we come in the middle of it, or had right before it started?
I think it was just starting
Yeah.
when we walked in.
Just starting was the long one. You gotta burp into the mic next time.
I don't want to.
I want you to.
It's impolite.
It's funny.
I have manners.
Comedy is number
I've
one.
been raised
Comedy is number one.
to consider the well-being of others. And as far as I know, there isn't an ASMR subsection that involves burping into the microphone.
I don't know about that. Have
Maybe
you looked
that's
it
a
up?
thing.
Have you Googled it?
No, because it's not a type of ASMR that I would be interested in.
Sure, but it might exist. Rule 34. Good. It was good. Anyways, so we walk just as the long one is starting, but we don't realize immediately that this is a long one. But soon thereafter, we do, and we sit through the whole thing, and then it like fades to black or however the movie ends, And then the guy goes up and he's like, all right, thanks everybody for joining, for coming to the film festival. And my parents had driven like an hour and a half from their house to go to this film festival, and they didn't even see it. And the movie wasn't good. It was not a good film. There was so much about it that you could tell that it was their first film. It wasn't like, I don't know. What do you think? Like, it wasn't like.
It could have been worse, to be fair.
True.
There were elements of it where you were like, all right,
Yeah.
they did all right with that.
There were things that I like genuinely liked about it.
You know, like the acting was surprisingly
True.
not terrible.
And some of the cinematography was great. Some of the editing choices were good too.
But overall, it was still way too long.
Yeah, it was a 15, maybe 20-minute movie dragged out to an hour and a half because somebody who was making their first film felt like that it needed to be a feature film. And that's I just try to stay away from that. Like, if you don't have a story that is deserving of that amount of time, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, but any time traveling story is deserving of that time, right? Any time traveling story deserves to be.
Like, I just go back any further in my head. Tune in next week to find out. And now we can actually cut to your finger gun because we're recording.
Tune in next week to see if we can find another short film that is actually.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun segment, is to find a new short film on YouTube.
Every week we'll recommend a new short film for you to watch.
Okay, that's not good. It isn't going to be good, but we'll recommend it to you, goddammit.
Your opinions of down below.
All right.
I really have to pee.
Well, that's just fine because I think it's time that we take a quick break.
Quick break for our sponsor.
Hi, we'll give it back to quick. Our sponsor is. Let's find out.
Stay tuned. I have the hiccups.
How often does that happen?
Not very often, but whenever it does, I hate it. It feels like my heart is stopping every single time.
Hi.
Welcome.
No, we don't do it this way. It's just hi. I'm just saying hi.
Update. I have the hiccups.
And now you're in. And now we're on the same page.
Now you're updated. The only thing that's changed between last time and now is that I have hiccups.
And another beer.
Well, I finished a beer, and now I'm on to the next.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was talking about.
So cheers to the end of the world. And also to having the hiccups.
This will be fun. I think you should tell me your story that you had planned to tell me.
Yeah, welcome back to the segment Find the Haystack
Wait,
Needle.
No. Tell me the chair the chair first. And then we'll do the haystack lie.
I'm sorry, what was
tell,
that?
Tell me about your stool debacle. If you can. Do your best. Hold your breath.
I apologize in advance for any interruptions caused by
Did I scare you?
for any interruptions caused by hiccuping.
I didn't scare you well enough, apparently. Just hold your breath. Just give it a second. We're going through the tunnel.
It's too late. I hiccuped already.
You have to hold it deeper. I know, I don't think it was, but it's still just funny.
So once upon a time,
Okay.
I was moving into my own apartment for the first time.
Okay.
My own, just solo, one-bedroom apartment. No
Been
roommates,
there.
anything. And so I had minimal furniture, right? Like all the furniture I had was basically what would belong in a bedroom.
Okay.
Because I had previously just shared this space with other people.
Uh-huh.
And so one of the main things that I was looking for were.
Do I have to put a hiccup count?
You might need to. One of the main things I was looking for was stools for the countertop in my apartment because there was like a little like bar top.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little tricky because it was bar height.
Was that a hiccup?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I just need to know for the count.
It was bar height as opposed to counter height, which are two different things, right? So bar height is taller. It's higher.
All right, I believe you.
Than counter height. Anyway, so I was looking for the perfect stools. You know, I didn't want to just get shitty stools for the sake of it. I wanted to find the perfect ones that I would be able to keep.
All right.
You know, did all the shopping online, trying to find something that like looked nice, but like wasn't too expensive. You know how it goes.
Okay. I shopped online.
Eventually found stools. Target online was having a sale. It was like 30% off or something for furniture or something like that. So I found these stools that I liked that were relatively nice. I ordered them online. I ordered 3 of them because I had like a longer bar top / countertop. Excuse me.
Do you need a second? It's taking your breath away.
I ordered these online because the sale was online, and so I ordered 3 stools.
Okay.
They were basically just a simple wood frame,
The perfect amount of stool.
cloth top, simple thing, like something that you might find at IKEA.
Hey, drink some water. Stop drinking beer. God, that was a lot. It's still happening. And we're back.
So I ordered these 3 stools, right? And I'm expecting them to come in the next few days. Excuse me. And one day, while I'm at work, I think this is on a Saturday, I get a text from my dad, and he's like, "Oh, you got a package." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I guess I must have forgotten to change my address or something to my new apartment and still got it delivered to my parents' house." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I ordered some stools. I must have forgotten to change the address. I'll come pick them up after work and take them to my apartment."
I just have to say, this would be my favorite thing to listen to. If it wasn't happening live, I would be fucking dying.
Give me just a second. This is my phone is over there, and I need to show you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Screenshot.
Should I read your
Yeah, you can read out
Gary
loud.
and then
Read
you
as
read
Gary.
you?
I'll
Okay,
read as
okay.
me. Gary's my father, by the way.
Couple of really big, heavy boxes addressed to you just showed up.
Shoot, I must have forgotten to update my address. They're stools. I can get them out of your way after work today.
They are very heavy and big boxes. Stools made of lead?
Not that I'm aware of. They should just be wood and fabric. I'm not sure why they would be so heavy.
There's no hiccup in the text. I just want to let that be known. As is, would probably need to use truck and would need help loading and unloading. I think they are not stools then. I think they may be inflatable pools.
And at this point, I'm like,
What did you order?
is this just a weird dad joke? Because this is exactly the type of thing that my dad would. It's just a weird sense of humor thing where it's like, oh, they must be pools. Okay, that's just strange, And so after work, I stop by my parents' house to pick them up. I go out, and my dad has moved them to the backyard. So I go out to the back porch, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to grab these 3 stools, head home, be on my way.
Just grab them by myself.
Now we have a video.
It's literally pools. It wasn't a bit. It wasn't a joke. You bought 3 above ground pools.
So I get to the backyard, and there are 2 giant boxes. 2. First of all, I ordered 3 stools, and I get to the back, and there are 2 boxes, and I'm like, okay, maybe one is delayed. And I go to pick one up because it's just supposed to be a cheap wooden frame stool. and I cannot lift it. This thing is like 100 pounds. And I look at the box, and it says that it's this like giant inflatable above ground pool, like one of the giant ones that's like the size of a normal pool, but it's an above ground pool.
How much did you pay?
And the stools themselves were like $50 each, and it was a great deal, which is why I got them, because they
Is
were
that
on
a
sale.
great deal?
There's all this.
$150 for 3 stools?
Yeah.
And you received...
When it comes to furniture. But the thing is, I received these pools instead of stools.
Pools. Hi, welcome back
And
to Pools Instead of Stools.
Confused. But especially since I only received 2, because I had ordered 3 items.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
one
would think
of the...
at the very least, why didn't they send me 3?
One of the
3
many
pools?
things in this story that doesn't add up.
But so they were giant, like they were such heavy packages, and I like suddenly understood that my father was not fucking with me. He was being serious when he had sent that text. He was like, "Oh, I think they might be pools." I had thought it was a joke, but he was serious. There's a big picture
of a pool on the side. He's like, "This is a pool." He was just telling you that there was a pool.
And I look up the item number on Target.com or whatever, and it has a picture of this big ass above ground pool. That's like $300 each.
Yo, you made bank, bro.
And so, like, in retrospect, I probably could have, like, tried to sell them and made a profit.
Yeah, and then you could have bought 3 times the amount of stools that you even needed.
But that's not what I was thinking. At the time, I was just thinking,
I don't want these pools.
This is not what I ordered. What the fuck am I... Like, they sent me 2 of them. Why the fuck would one person need 2 above ground pools? 2 separate ones. Why? Why would you ever need 2 above ground?
Well, one of them's for the left side, and the other one I have for just a backup.
Friend. You know, they like saw that I was buying one, and they all wanted one too, so I got it for them. But so it's very confusing because like, and to this day, I still have no idea how it got so messed up. Like, do they have the warehouse arranged by rhymes?
But
is everything arranged? Oh, the stools are next to the pools, which are next to like the tools. And so they're like, oh, this person ordered 3 stools. Oh, yeah, I accidentally put...
He had headphones on. The guy had, we need 3 stools, 2 pools, got it.
It's just so confusing because I'm like, there's such a big difference in like the shipping weight alone. Like the stools were maybe like 10 pounds each, right? And these giant pools were like at least like 90 or 100 pounds.
That's so funny.
I'm like, how the fuck does that get messed up like that? And then it was this whole deal where it's like, obviously this isn't what I ordered.
Yeah, how did it end up? How did you
called Target and I was like, hey, I tried to explain to the customer service representative, and they were just very confused. Mm-hmm. They had no idea what I was talking about because I said, hey, I ordered 3 stools and I just received the packages and there are 2 pools, and they're like,
sorry, you ordered 2 pools?
And I was like, I ordered 3 like bar stools, like countertop like stools to sit on.
Yeah, and we sent you the pools, right? You got those?
And I just received the package, like it said it was delivered, but instead they're 2 like the response that I got from the customer service representatives was hilarious. Like, it's not like I'm not blaming them at all. They did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. They were just so taken aback, as was I, that it was just sort of funny. And so I had to sort of explain it a couple times because it sounds so ridiculous. And I was just like, yeah, they sent me 2 pools. And they were like, what? I was like, they sent me like, you know, the above ground pool. They sent me 2 of those instead of the 3 stools that I ordered. And so it was a hilarious back and forth. And so I talked to, Target customer service a couple times. And then eventually I talked to the shop, and they're like, yeah, I guess you just have to, like, submit like you would for a regular return. Mm-hmm. Like, just request a return for the 3 stools that you ordered, and you'll be refunded for that amount
makes sense. At least it
spent.
At least it
but you out. Obviously have to, like, bring them in and return them. And I was like, so I have to haul these 2, like, 100-pound pools to a Target to return them? And so it ended up being this whole ordeal where, like, my father and I took his truck and, like, loaded both of them into his truck and, like, took them to Target and, like, went into the customer service portion of it and, like, tried to explain to that person what had happened. And they're like, they just weren't understanding because it sounded so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, we received these 2 pools instead of the 3 bar stools that had been ordered. We have them out there. Like, they're in the bed of the truck. We brought them here. We just want to, like, return them. Like, return the stools that we ordered, which are actually pools, and just, like, get a fucking refund at this point. And then from there, I'll reorder them or, you know, get my refund, whatever the fuck it is at that point. And they were so confused. And they're like, all right, well, can you just, like, bring them in? And we had to, like, get a dolly and, like, unload them from the truck. They're giant ass.
It's a pool.
It's like this rolled up thing of, like,
it's 100 pounds of rubber.
It was so heavy. And we, like, rolled it in on this dolly. And then the lady that was helping us was like, oh, yeah, those are pools. And I was
Thank
like,
thank you, late Target
looks
lady.
at my order on her computer or whatever it is, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to call, like, customer support or something. And so then, like, she, like, calls into customer service for Target and you know, is on the phone with them for a little bit and is like, hey, like, I'm not sure what to do, like, this customer ordered stools, which is what their order shows, but they, like, received
not that
stools. And ultimately it's this whole thing where, like,
almost the exact opposite of a
they
stool.
ended up returning them, just, like, acting as if I had received the stools and was returning them. And but we just gave them the pools. But it was just this whole ridiculous thing where I received 2 above ground pools instead of the bar stools that I had ordered for my apartment.
Well, that's quite the fun online ordering story.
Yeah.
I've never had anything happen that bad.
Neither have I. And there was a lot of jokes, and, you know, obviously I was in a 1-bedroom apartment in like an apartment complex. I didn't have a backyard, or, like, it wasn't a condo or anything. And people were like, oh, well, you could just set it up in your backyard.
Nope.
Don't you want to? This is Arizona. You know,
you need a pool.
You need
it's
a
Arizona.
pool.
Everybody
and I was
needs
like,
a pool.
What the fuck am I gonna do with this?
I still think that you could have sold them as pools.
Yeah, and that's what people said afterward. But at the time, I was just so
you just
caught
wouldn't
off
have even
guard that
thought
I was
of
like,
it.
where are my fucking stools?
Give me my stools. Oh, my stools.
I need stools. I need somewhere to sit while I eat breakfast. Like, what is
I'm
this?
just picturing, like, a fully, like, blown up above ground pool in your kitchen, and you just sitting on the edge in the next to the counter.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
You gotta
like,
make do.
I can't do any. Like, I don't want this. I just want this out of my way.
You could have stacked both of the cardboard boxes on top of each other long ways, and then sat on top of this on that one.
So heavy.
Well, you can't move them, but you could stack them. It's like you don't live on the second story.
I was actually on the ground floor.
Well, there you go. Easy enough.
There was no, like, backyard or area or anything like that. So it's just like, I need stools. But then after that, I was too afraid to order from Target, so I ended up not ordering it.
You didn't even get those stools that you wanted?
No, I didn't reorder them. And there was also this whole confusion where I was like, I ordered 3 stools. I ordered 3 items.
And
I
you got
these
2.
2 above ground pools. And so while I was, like, physically at the Target store talking to the representative, I was wondering, I was like, so where's the 3rd item? Like, are they shipping something else to me? Can you tell
Am I
if
gonna
it's a
get
stool
another
or
pool?
a pool? Do you know?
It's all.
And they didn't know. They were like, yeah, it says
It's
it
out of my
hasn't been,
hands.
like, it says it's been shipped, but, like, they don't, like, I have no way of telling what it is. And I was like, okay, but, like, what happens when I receive it?
It's in
Like,
God's hands now.
I have to come back and return it again? Like, can you just cancel like, don't have them delivered to my house? I don't want to have to haul it onto the truck and,
yeah,
like,
that's out of
bring it
my.
back here. Can you just cancel the delivery? And they're like, no, it's already, like, in the middle of being shipped.
That's above my pay grade. I'm sorry.
Never received it.
Somebody did. Somebody received an above ground pool that they didn't want to pay for.
I requested a refund on all 3 items, but, like, I never received the 3rd stool and or pool. I have no idea what it was. Like, maybe it would have actually been a stool. I have no clue. Maybe it was another pool.
2
I have no
stools in
idea.
a
But
pool.
it never arrived, and so, I was prepared for another item to arrive. I was
Mm-hmm.
prepared for another pool to arrive, to be honest, and to have to like bring it back and return it separately and all of that. But I just filed a refund
Yeah.
online, and they refunded me for the 3 stools, and the third item just never came.
Well, probably best.
And so I did not have any stools, and I continued to not have any stools because I didn't try to reorder them, and I didn't end up with stools until I was gifted 2 stools later on for like Christmas or
Mm-hmm.
Christmas/birthday. And I was gifted 2 stools. And finally, those stools also had a like very weird delivery story where they like weren't delivered, and I'm like,
So
wasn't
those
sure if they were
stools
ever gonna
just
show up.
don't buy anything.
But
Don't buy anything
yeah, I had this
online.
phobia of stools. I was like, I like have a curse on me. I can't. I'm never gonna be able to
Anything
get stools.
with 2 letters next to each other, don't buy it online. Mirrors, no.
It's just so strange because like, how the fuck is their warehouse organized?
Did you ever? Well, yeah, I guess you never got like the stools to see, because my first question would have been, is it like one number off
No.
compared to the other one?
No fucking idea. Like,
Yeah, there's no way
it's
to
obviously
know
not
that.
alphabetical. It's just like they just sound similar, but that doesn't seem like it warrants enough to
I feel like
mix up the order.
I genuinely feel like it would have had to have been somebody being like, we need 3 stools, and somebody just misheard them. And it was
but
like,
that doesn't seem like the way
pools?
that warehouses would work, right? You'd think they would
No,
look
it was
at
like
the order
3,
and they're like 3 stools.
3 stools. Sorry, did you say pools? And the other guy's gone. All right, he's like,
Yeah.
all right, pools. How many was it again? Did you hear him?
Why
I don't
the
know. I couldn't.
fuck would one person order more than one pool? Why?
There's so many steps. There's so many steps where somebody could have been
yeah.
like, are you sure this is right? And it just didn't happen that way. And now we have this wonderful story, and I'm happy about
Yeah.
it. Well, Target, you're really fucking up, and you've lost our
know.
our. You're not gonna be one of our sponsors. This episode is
But
not sponsored
actually,
by Target.
because I still love you, Target. And once this quarantine is over, I will continue to frequent your various locations.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Well,
But
well,
I'm afraid of ordering things online. And afterwards, I had this phobia. I was like, well, I'm just not going to order stools. I don't need them. I'll just eat on the couch, or I'll eat standing up. I don't need stools.
I don't need 'em.
I was just scarred. I was
Who
like,
needs
if
'em?
I try to order stools, they're not gonna ever get to me.
You're not allowed to order stools
Yeah.
online.
And then even when my friend ordered stools as my like birthday or Christmas gift, they said that they had shipping issues with them. They were like, yeah, they said they were.
What is it with stools? Just go to IKEA. Just pick
So I
them
was
up from
convinced that
IKEA.
I was cursed. I was like, I'm not meant to have stools.
Maybe nobody's meant to have stools. Nobody's meant to order stools online.
It's not meant to be.
Stools do not ship stools. There's a. It's just too much of a.
Do not order stools
ordeal.
online. Is what I've learned from
Okay,
all of this.
well, that's a good life lesson.
But I do have 2 stools now that are currently sitting up in the attic of my parents' house.
Great, always good.
But I
Gotta have
have
a couple
them.
of
They
pools.
did eventually get to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Good. It's great to have a pool.
but they're bar height instead of counter height.
A bar height pool.
What? The stool?
Hi, welcome back to Bar Height Pool. Okay. All right, you know what it's time for?
Find the
Cherin.
haystack.
Name the
Find
haystack.
the lie in the needle.
Lie stack it's haystack lie. Hi.
Hey there, Delilah.
That's such a better name. That's so much better than haystack lie. Oh, I'm upset that that's not what it's called. That's what it's going to be called
You
for
can
this
change
episode. Yeah, it's Hey There, Delilah. Okay. So if you don't know what this segment is, we each tell each other a story. The topic this time is going to be dating, correct? Last time it was as you know, I'm sure you know, it was penis stories. Our landmark episode.
Was it?
Give me a break. Give me one break. And So this time the theme is going to be dating. So we're each going to tell each other a story, and in the realm of dating, and we're going to tell. It's going to be a 100%, a 99.8% true story, and there's going to be one little lie slipped in, and then we're going to have to guess what the lie is after that. So I still don't know what my lie is going to be for my stories, so I'm going to say that you go first.
So I'm gonna go first. A lot of dating stories, so it was hard to choose, but this one sticks out in my memory.
All right, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Should I change the name? Should I use a fake name? I feel like
I'll just bleep it. Just name it. Just say whatever you want.
I feel like I'm just using the first name, so like it doesn't matter, right?
What are the odds that they listen?
Exactly, right.
What are the odds that anybody
Almost
listens to this podcast?
zero. Like,
Thank you.
There is no way in hell that the person that I went on this date with is listening.
I thought you were going to say there's no way in hell anybody's going to listen to this podcast.
No, like there's no way that person is listening to this episode.
Sure.
You know. So
dox them. What's their last middle name and last three number of social security?
I don't know. Could find out though because of my work. So you better watch out. If you ever go on a date with me, I can figure out all of your information and fuck you over for life. So just be careful. You know. Just
is that a warning to me?
I've already researched everything
I
that
believe you.
Possibly can about you. But so this was I think it was a Bumble date, Tinder, Bumble, doesn't really matter.
One of them,
but it was one of those. And my policy has always been for first dates to steer things towards either a casual coffee date or grabbing drinks, like something very casual, very low pressure in a public place.
Right. Makes sense.
So that's always been my go-to for first dates, especially with people that I meet online. It's just like, okay, let's go grab drinks at, so-and-so this weekend. This person, whom we shall call Ashton, which is his real name.
Who I will refer to it by as his real name.
Because otherwise I'll forget. So, we're just going to have to use his real name. But I don't know his last name, actually. So, okay. So, I tried to steer it towards that. We talked for a little bit, and I was like, oh, yeah, if you want to meet up, we can go, I don't know if you're free during the day or in the evenings. Everybody's schedule is a little different. So, we could grab a drink or grab coffee, whatever works best for you. And he's like, oh, I'd like to grab dinner sometime. And I always steer away from meals, for first dates especially. Because
sorry about that.
I don't want a specific time commitment. Like if it's a drink, like if I'm grabbing a beer with someone or if I'm grabbing a coffee with someone, that's a very quick thing. It doesn't have to be a very long time commitment.
Sure, you can sort of do that whenever.
I can chug a beer and be done with it. The date can be over.
I can drink and run
10 minutes if I need it to be. Or if it's coffee, I don't drink coffee, so I'll just be drinking water. So it's just I finished my drink, I gotta get going. And so I steer away from meals or anything that requires a specific amount of time commitment because it's obviously I can only eat food so quickly. But this guy insisted on dinner. And, as much as I tried to fight, I was like, oh, maybe we should just grab drinks before. And he was just like, no, I'd love to take you out to, it's just, there's a certain point where it's not worth fighting.
Okay.
Because it's
I guess fair enough.
Why am I going to fight against someone wanting to buy me dinner?
Yeah. For a first date, at least.
It's not that big of a deal, whatever.
It's less convenient, but not inconvenient.
Maybe it'll be a little uncomfortable, but I can handle it. So I agreed to dinner, and he's like, okay, I'll meet you at so-and-so's at whatever time. And we set up the place and time that he suggested, and he's like, hey, just so you know, it's a upscale place, so just be prepared to dress up a little bit. Don't just wear jeans and a t-shirt or something. And I was like, okay. Okay. All right. I guess. Okay.
How do you spell that? How do you put that into text for me? How many E's, U's, and G's is there in that?
But so that's what I have going in, and I
Mm-hmm.
look up this place, which is called Donovan's, and I look it up, and it's like, oh, it's definitely like a fancy. It's like a fancy steakhouse essentially. It's in
Okay.
Scottsdale.
All right. I would have could have
And so I
guessed.
look it up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like this isn't probably the type of place that you wear jeans and a t-shirt to. So anyway, the night of the date comes. I'm wearing like a dressier like jumpsuit, a blazer, nice
Mm-hmm.
shoes. I'm like dressed up a little bit, which is like outside of my comfort zone already. Because on a coffee date or just grabbing drinks with someone, I always try to make it casual where I
Mm-hmm.
can wear jeans and a t-shirt
Yeah.
there. But I'm like dressed up for this day. I walk in, the hostess helps us, and she's like, yeah, he's already there. He's ready to get seated.
Oh, dude, can I tell you right now? I forgot for like the past 5 minutes to be looking for a lie. I totally forgot what this. What the
It
fuck
hasn't.
is
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay,
so
all right, okay. I
there.
appreciate that.
So you can keep an
Okay.
eye out from now on. But so I walk in, and, the hostess is right there by the door. I'm like, hey, I'm meeting someone here. I don't know if they're here yet, but and he's already there. So he like walks out, and Ashton walks out. He's a big dude. He's like 6'3" or 6'4".
Okay.
He's like really tall. He's like solidly built, not like overweight by
Okay.
any means, but like very structurally sound, one might say.
Such a strange way to describe a person.
Structurally sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's tall, and I was actually wearing heels because I
Mhm.
was dressed up, because he had told me cause it was a nicer establishment that I needed to dress up for. And he walks out. I'm wearing heels, but he's still like a big guy.
Okay.
And I already knew who's younger than me because this was on Bumble or Tinder or whatever. It shows you the age.
Mhm.
He was a year younger than me, I think, maybe a little less than a year. But he's already there. He's waiting. He like walks out, and he's dressed as a 2000 scene boy / emo boy.
Hey, give me one moment. I'll need one moment, please.
Insert image here.
What?
But,
Do you have a picture?
No.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
that might be
Google
too
scene
much,
boy
but,
and just to take the first picture I have.
I'll describe it because he was wearing skinny jeans, like black
Okay.
skinny jeans that are like ripped with like multiple zippers, and he's wearing a t-shirt with a vest over the t-shirt, and he has a beanie on, and he has like longer, not like super long like man bun hair, but just like emo
Shaggy
boy
hair.
hair.
Okay.
Like in
I
the
can picture it.
height of like emo boyness. It was like long, like shaggy hair, and it was. I later learned that it was straightened,
Okay.
which is especially emo. But
As
the
we all know.
skinny jeans, t-shirt, vest combo, straightened shaggy hair, beanie, lip piercing. Like he had the whole thing going on.
Okay.
Right. And keep in mind, he had explicitly told me to dress up because this was the fine
Yeah.
establishment.
And
So
he's
I
wearing
was
a
standing
t-shirt
there.
and a
And
vest.
so whatever the hostess comes in, like seats us at our table and stuff, and there's like some conversation. He's doing most of the talking. I'm just sort of sitting there, and he's at one point something comes up where he's like, yeah, they don't usually allow hats here, but they make an exception for me because I'm here all the time.
I have to go to
I'm
sleep.
like,
I'm sorry. I need to go to bed. That was too much
like,
for me.
I'm like an important person around here because he's wearing a beanie.
I feel ill.
Just to remind you. On top of his straightened, like swooshed emo boy hair. And I'm like, okay, I don't know when I'm supposed to say that. I'm like, okay, I got
Fucking
whatever.
sick, bro.
And like as soon as I had seen him, I like felt weird because I felt overdressed compared to him. Like I felt appropriately dressed for the establishment, but then compared to him, he was like, in my mind, casually, like, yeah, he was wearing a vest, but it was over a t-shirt, so it sort of cancels out
really,
there,
yeah.
right? So we're just sitting at our table, and he like brings that up, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, well, I'm wearing like heels and like a nice outfit and stuff. Like, I feel weird that you're just sitting here in a t-shirt and like ripped jeans that have zippers all over them. Whatever.
Why the rips and zippers? Were those zippers covering the rips?
Because you're gonna be an emo boy.
Could you zip up the rips? Hi, welcome back to Zip the Rips.
They're separate. There's rips and there's zippers that you can like. Zip
You got your rips and you got your zips.
Rips and Zips, name of my next album. Yeah, so we sit there, we order our drinks. I just get like a beer. It might have been a Blue Moon actually.
Shout out to Blue Moon, our sponsor this week.
Sponsor us, please. And he orders like a whiskey, like on the rocks. I don't know anything about whiskey.
Okay. I don't either.
But he orders
for the
whatever
record.
specific brand or whatever
Learned label.
of whiskey. He's like on the rocks.
Can I get one Jim Libbins on the rocks?
I don't remember what it was exactly. But
you tell me right now that Jim Libbins isn't a whiskey.
It's like a $30 glass of whiskey. So, like, I don't know much about whiskey, but, like, that seems expensive,
That's
right?
money.
It's like a higher-end glass, and I just ordered, like, a Blue Moon or whatever. And keep in mind, this is, like, a fancy steakhouse place, and I don't eat steak.
Okay. That was the end of that statement?
I don't eat steak, so I'm there, and, like, obviously, there are, like, a couple other things on the menu, so I order their, like, chicken option or whatever, but... this would all come up beforehand anyway. But so he ends up ordering a couple, but it also comes up in the conversation where he's like, "Yeah, this is like this. I can't settle for less than this. Like I know it's $30 a glass, but like it's nothing to me. Like I can afford it, and I can't settle for any less. Like I can't do less. This is at least what I have to get.
Okay.
And I'm just sitting there sipping my Blue Moon, and I'm just like. All right, yeah, like I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, dude, I
I'm
feel
not
you
a
as you
whiskey
take
person. Like, to each their own. If this is what you like, this is what you like, And whatever of the conversation over dinner, he does most of the talking. I just listen to him talk about himself, And the end of the night comes, and like I said, typically I usually try to aim for like coffee dates or drink. Like it's easy to split things up.
You can end it whenever you want.
And I don't like feeling like I owe people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, yeah, the hostess comes, and I'm like, can we just get our separate checks? Because I had my entree and then my one drink, and he had his like a couple of whiskeys.
Yeah.
In his meal or whatever. And he insists on paying, which, like, I'm super uncomfortable with, especially on a first date.
Sure.
Like, I don't like other people paying for me because I don't like feeling like I owe people. Even if I don't feel like I owe people, I don't want other people to think that I owe them.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I don't want someone to feel like they're entitled to something because they paid for me.
It's not weird at all to split a first date.
Exactly. And that's why I try to avoid it in the first place by, like, just going for, like, a casual drink somewhere. But, obviously we're at dinner, so I'm like, separate check. He insists on paying. I, like, try to find, like, I tell him, like, oh, no, like, we should get separate checks. Like, I'm fine paying for myself. Like, I don't mind at all. It's not a big deal. Like, but he insists on paying for anything.
Okay, here's that. Let me interject. It's fine to be like, no, I'll get it. But the first instance of like, no, let's split it, then you go along with it.
Yeah,
you never fight back, never go back again.
There's like 2 or 3. We like go back and forth, and I'm like, no, like I really feel more comfortable like paying for myself, And he's like, no, like I really got this. I'd like love to treat you, whatever. And I'm like, and it reaches a point where we've gone back and forth, and I'm just like, it's gonna be easier to just go along with this, So he pays for everything. We head out. I'm ready to go. He's just been talking the whole time about himself, and I'm like ready to end the night. And then he suggests going to see a movie because he's having a great time. He thinks this is going great. And
¿Cuál película?
Normally, I'm very against movies as like first or like beginning dates because I feel like dates should be to get to know the other person, and I'm a strict observer of not talking during movies. So going to see a movie on a date is not an opportunity to get to know the other person because you're just sitting silently watching the movie.
I agree.
But in this situation, I don't want to hear him talk anymore. And outside of all of that, like, I'm not a person to turn on a movie. You know, I'll watch any movie.
Any movie. EMP 333.
Literally any movie. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm having a great time. Like, I feel like this is going great. There's a movie theater right. It's like within walking. It's right next door. Why don't we go see what's playing? We'll go see a movie." And, you know, normally I would decline, but at this point I'm like, you know, at least, you know, I'll get to see a movie and I don't have to listen to him talk. So it seems like I could be
It's
fine.
a win-win.
So, and also at this point I've sort of gotten the feeling that, like, if I try and fight this, like, he's just gonna, like, go back and forth. It's gonna be just, like, fighting over the check. It's gonna be this whole thing. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't mind watching a movie because I don't have to talk to him. I'll just be watching the movie. So we go and see a movie. It's some Jeremy Renner movie where he's in the snow.
Jeremy
we
Renner,
watched that.
Snow,
He's in
Wind
the
River.
Yes.
Great film. Fantastic movie.
No, the movie itself was totally fine.
Please watch it if you haven't. God, I genuinely love that movie.
It was a really good movie, and he didn't talk very much during it, which was great.
Very much.
Well, it was that, like, so we were in Scottsdale, and it was this like the Scottsdale Harkins, where they had a bar and everything at that point. So we, like, had a beer while we were watching and stuff, but he didn't talk very much, to be fair. And so we watched the movie, and afterwards, you know, we're heading out, and I had obviously, like, driven to Scottsdale, and I guess he lived near, but he'd, like, walk to the restaurant from his apartment, and then the movie theater was right next to the apartment. So, being the kind, generous soul that I am, I was like,
You don't gotta do that.
I'll drive you back to your apartment. It's literally, like, across the street.
That?
I don't want to, like, drive off and just leave you to, like, walk back. I felt guilty. It's this whole thing. We don't need to dive into my psyche right now. But, you know, I drove him back to his apartment, because it was across the street. And I was just like, I just want this to be over. I don't want to feel guilty about any of this.
Okay.
Drove him back to his apartment, you know, pulled into a space, parked, and his apartment was, you know, upstairs or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, well, I had a great time. I'd love to see you again." And I was like, "It's nice to meet you. Thanks for dinner." And I had insisted on paying for the movie tickets. Since he had insisted so hard on paying for dinner.
Did that succeed? Did you do that?
The movie was also a chance for me to sort of, like, feel balanced. You know,
Sure.
I paid for both of our tickets and you know, the beers and everything at least, because I wanted to feel somewhat balanced. But yeah, so we're sitting there in my car, and I'm dropping it off. His apartment's up there, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I'd love to see you again. I'll text you." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I'm gonna head home now." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go." And I was like, "All right."
Oh, take a hint, my guy.
It's nice to meet you.
Woo.
And he was like, "Well, can I at least get like a good night kiss?" And I was like,
I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry.
And he's like, "I mean, I've, like, had a good night." And I was like, "Oh, no." But also, I just want this to be, like, I just want to go home at this point. It's, like, midnight. I'm just, like, ready to go home and go to bed. And I just, like, at this point, it's been established that he's someone who's, like, gonna insist on something and, like, go back and forth, you know. Like,
One of my favorite qualities in people.
He insisted on paying for the check. It's, like, this whole thing where I'm like, this is gonna drag on. Let's just go with it. Whatever. I, like, give him a quick kiss, like, a peck, like something you give your cousin, like someone who's related. Like, it was nothing.
When your mom's like, "Kiss, hey, give it, hey, we kiss in this family, god damn it."
Yeah, and it's like in the car, he's like sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm just like, "Good night."
Night.
And he, like, goes up.
I'm picturing him that happening and him getting out of the car and be like,
Maybe. because I have screenshots of the texts afterward.
And let's get to a clip. Are you
Oh
gonna?
my God.
Do we
I
have a
to-
clip?
No, I do have screenshots of it.
Oh.
So,
Oh, I have to take my headphones off. I'm ready for this.
but well, I'm finding that. So basically, like I'm driving home from Scottsdale, and I live in I think I was still living in Gilbert at that point.
Gilbert.
So, it's like a 30-minute drive about. I drive back, and by the time I get back, I have a text from him, and he's like, "Oh, I had a great time. I'd love to see you again." That whole spiel, and I'm someone who like tries to be very direct and like straightforward when I go on dates. Where if I'm not feeling it, I'll just tell him, because like I'm strongly opposed to ghosting. Like, fuck anyone who ghosts people. Fuck you if you ghost people or have ever ghosted anyone or ever stood anyone up, because
Just be better.
that's fucked up. Just tell someone you aren't interested. That's what I told him. Essentially, he had texted me and he was like, "Oh, just want to make sure you got home. I had a great time. I'd love to see you again." And I texted back and was like, "Hey, it was nice meeting you, but I don't think it's gonna work out. I just think we're different people. We have different interests. I don't think it's gonna work out." And I'm trying to find this.
We can cut out you looking for it.
But he basically sent a bunch of screenshots, and I guess I haven't mentioned, but he's in a band, was and is, and so that had like come up a couple times in the course of the night, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a band. I play guitar for the band, whatever it is." And so for whatever reason, like this comes up at the end of the conversation where he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess we didn't really like get into this, but I'm in a band. We've like been really successful. I'm like sort of a rock star. So I know it like might be hard to sort of understand, but I'm a real person. I'm not just a rock star."
Oh, I heard on my insides.
And if you get to know me, like I'm a really cool person.
You know who never says that they're a cool person? Let me tell you right now, cool people. Cool people have never ever once said to anybody in their whole, "Is that it? Please tell me that's not it."
There's 3 of them.
That's a goddamn paragraph.
So this is the first one.
Oh, can I read it out loud?
You can absolutely. It doesn't show really my responses because they're very minimal, but basically prior to what you're about to read, it would have been like the standard, like, "Oh, I had a nice time. When can I see you again?"
Okay.
And I basically texted back, "Oh, I wasn't really feeling it. It was nice to meet you, but I don't think we'd really work out." And then.
Oh, God. Okay. I had to read it to myself to be prepared a little bit, but I read the first part of this, but I'm going in blind. Oh, well, regardless, you have no idea about me. I'm definitely trouble. Crying, laughing emoji. There's the whole aspect of me being a rock star. We didn't talk about much. We didn't talk
We did
much.
talk about it.
We didn't talk. You did? It did come up, and he said we didn't talk much about it.
Yes.
Woof out of 10. We didn't talk much about that, because I'm pretty modest to people I see things with. That sentence doesn't make sense. First of all, but there's a lot going on in my life. All over the top, amazing, ridiculous shit. And I got to where I am because I'm fucking insane. 2 laughing, crying emojis. And exclamation point. I'm just really good friends with all the right people. I suppose that too. Dude, is he illiterate? I've always believed I'm the fun kind of trouble. Okay. Wait.
And I had texted back, there were a couple messages, but he had sent that, and I talked about how he still wasn't really interested, and basically
You sent
ended
graphs.
with how, I enjoyed meeting him, but not every date works out. It wasn't gonna,
A perfectly
cost
normal
benefit.
thing and explanation
Cost
thing.
benefit analysis, my dude.
Explain
That's
this
a
guy some
direct quote.
fucking microeconomics.
Trying to get out of this, pretty explicitly telling him that I'm not interested. And he responds back
With, well, I wanted to spoil you purely out of love and respect for you as a lovely human. Love for a lovely human. Almost like a thank you for giving me
Oh.
faith in you. Oh, this isn't even where the lie is. The lie already had to have already happened. Almost like as you saw from the dinner. Oh my God. Oh, he's a nice guy. Oh, he's a nice guy.
This is why you don't let people pay for you.
Hey, fucker.
I tried to avoid it because I didn't want this specific thing to happen where it's like, oh yeah, but what about that nice dinner that I bought for you?
Oh.
Fuck you.
Oh,
I
God.
wanted
I
to
don't
get
even
separate
read this
checks.
outside. Dude.
You have to.
God, I fucking hate every human man on the planet. Hey, I can't even read it. God, I'm so upset.
I'll read it. Yeah, no. Yeah, so he spoiled me with that fancy dinner that I didn't care for because I don't even eat steak and I don't care about going to a steakhouse for dinner for a first date. And so I don't remember exactly where I responded back because I didn't screenshot my portion of the text, but he had sent something about how, spoiling me with the dinner and everything. And I responded back and I was like, yeah, I really appreciated it. Obviously, I tried to pay for my portion. I don't want to feel like I owe you or anything because, I don't think it's going to work out between us ultimately. I'm not really interested.
Okay.
You seem like a nice enough person,
A-
but
an-
I don't see it working out between us romantically or
Again,
anything.
a normal human response.
Yeah, I was very direct about it because I knew there was no chance, and I try to pride myself on being someone who's direct and communicative of things, especially when it comes to dating. That's always been one of my primary goals is to be like, yeah, if I go on a date with someone, if I'm not interested, I'm going to just straight up tell them because being ghosted fucking sucks.
Right.
And he had responded back. He said, hey, fucker, goddamn, at least
I
be
knew what
my
was happening.
friend. Shit. Cry laughing emoji. I'll just push aside my feelings of, quote, goddamn, she's fucking sexy, end quote. We'd make amazing friends.
I need one moment, please. Let's have a moment of silence.
That was just the first message.
Just one moment of silence, please. I need it. Okay, we're back. And we're back.
The next message says, we'd make amazing friends. You can't deny that shit. Maybe a sexual relationship isn't the best idea. You're probably right. But we're a really interesting dynamic. You may not know me all that well because, I don't open up for a little bit. But you'll get there.
You'll get there.
And that's the extent of the screenshots that I have. But essentially after that point, it's just like, I really appreciate it. You seem like a fine person. I just, I don't want to make something
Jesus,
that I'm not going to be interested in.
Damn Christ.
How
did he respond to that? Do you know?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, so it wasn't noteworthy.
So I don't even know if he did respond. But you get the gist. And I don't want to be friends with someone that I don't see myself being friends with. And so I'm not going to, just because I reject someone romantically doesn't mean I'm like, oh, yeah, we can still be friends. If I don't want to be friends with them, I'm going to tell them I don't want to maintain any sort of contact with you. It's not worth my time. It's not worth your time. I don't want either of us to be wasting our time. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be connected to you at all, really.
God, okay.
Platonically or otherwise.
Okay.
But he was just the type of very pushy, insistent person. And like I said, he was a little bit younger than me.
He was a nice guy. He was 100% a nice guy. A lot of it was
so much status oriented. Like I said, when I got there, he was like, oh yeah, they don't allow hats here, but since I'm a regular, I frequent this place very often, so they don't really care. He was wearing ripped jeans and a beanie. And, and so it's just all right, and I have to dress up for, like, what the fuck is this? Like, we could have just gone on, like, a casual thing. What the fuck is going on?
Okay. All
So
right.
who's already established himself as a type of person who's, like, very insistent on whatever he wants, and he, like, whatever his vision of what's going on is what's happening. Like, he thinks things are going really well. Like,
No,
this
no,
is a
no,
great
no. I
date.
know. I
Like, we're
picture.
connecting on things. Like, just because I am exerting the bare minimum of what is required to, like, maintain a conversation, because I've worked customer service jobs my entire life and I know how to talk to literally anybody. And so I'm talking to him. And so that's what he gets out of it. Is it's just like, oh my God, we have this amazing connection because this person is talking to me and they have all these things to say and we're like connecting over all of this. And like, they went to dinner with me and now they like went and saw this movie. They like gave me this good night. And there's like, I didn't screenshot this, but like one of the texts involves like, oh, you can't just kiss me like that and then like leave forever or something. Like, and I was like, kiss you like what? Like, it was literally just like a good night kiss, like to get rid of
Oh,
you
God.
because you like invited me up and I declined. And then you were like, oh, well,
Oh, Jesus.
you know, it was such a nice night. I have to at least get a good night kiss. And I was like, fuck, just gets fucking over with, and like kissed him goodnight. And I was like, all right, I like have to go home, you know. And he's just like, oh my God, you can't just like leave after that amazing goodnight kiss. Like,
Okay.
that
all
was
right.
something. We
All right.
have to. This is something. There's something going on here. You kissed me like that, and that means that's gotta be something, you know.
Okay, let me find. Let me
That's a
get. I need a
kiss.
second. I need to think about where it could be, because there's so many points where it could be.
There's a lot going on.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Is it like, is the lie?
It was at the beginning.
Oh, that's not. That was okay. That was more than I was looking for. But is it like something that's like a small detail that's like, oh, it could go this or
Yeah.
this? Okay. Oh, damn it. That's fucking.
It's a small detail about. It's about him specifically, not about like the circumstances. You're probably not gonna get it because I don't even remember if I said it. Maybe I only said it in my head and I didn't actually say it
Okay,
out loud.
all right.
So.
My guess would be that picturing the guy, the type of person that I see, that he couldn't even go so far as to even be wearing a vest. Like that wasn't even.
No, that's true.
Damn it.
100%
Fuck.
true. He was wearing a
T-shirt and a vest.
and vest.
Damn it. Okay.
That was
Okay.
his
I
dress
lost. But
outfit.
can I have a try number
Yeah,
2?
of course.
Did the jeans actually have zippers?
Yes.
God damn it. I got no clue. I've got no idea what the fuck.
He didn't have any piercings.
You never said that.
Are you sure? Pretty sure he mentioned that he had an eyebrow piercing. Beanie, lip piercing, like he had the whole thing. Lip piercing.
What does that mean for the point scoring? I mean, we didn't have any points.
I told you this was gonna happen. I was gonna forget to tell
forgot
my
the
lie
lie.
because I'm not a fucking liar.
What?
I'm not a liar.
So what do I do? Do I just tell my story or do I put a lie in?
You still have to put a lie in and I'll try to guess
Okay.
it.
I
not
still
gonna
have no
get
idea where to
it,
put my
but
lie.
You gotta figure it out. Just don't forget to put it in.
Okay. All right. It might be as small of a detail as yours was. Okay. All right. So it wasn't. Mine's not. It was date. It's a dating story, but it's not like a first date. So I was seeing. It was. I met on probably Hinge. That was like the only one that I like.
My hiccups are gone.
Yeah, I noticed that they've been
I'm
gone
not
for a
hiccuping.
while. But that was not a burp. You just opened your mouth a little bit.
No, I burped outside of the microphone because I still don't feel comfortable with that.
I met this girl on Hinge and we went on a few dates and we weren't like it was nothing, never any ended up being anything like official or like boyfriend girlfriend, but we were like going on dates for a couple months, a month or so, and we went out with Nick and Christopher and Tim, and we went out to some bar in Scottsdale, and Christopher likes to have these like I don't know, I wouldn't say like deep questions, but like more than just like surface level questions about somebody. So we went out, and then after just a couple drinks, we ended up at In-N-Out, and we got our food, and we were sitting outside, and one of Christopher's questions was, "What's your like biggest regret?" Probably, I think, yeah. What's one of your biggest regrets? And my story's not as long, sorry, but
I'm just terrible at telling stories
it's
and
okay.
tell way too
No,
many
that was a fun
details that
story.
aren't relevant. So,
Except any of the
carry on.
lies, you missed the the only detail
I
that you had
feel
to add in.
like I definitely slipped that in there.
I'm gonna be editing this, so
We'll see.
if it's there, we're gonna cut to a clip. But if it's not there, we're gonna cut to a clip of
me forgetting to include the lie
a
in my
dog
story.
throwing up.
But at the very least, it's still a good story. Even if I
No,
forgot
definitely a
to tell
good
the
story.
lies,
No, it
so,
caused me internal pain, and I apologize on behalf of men around the world.
as you should, because men are terrible.
But so he asked her what your biggest regret was, and it was she thought for a little bit, and she's like probably going back to my ex. And I was like, okay, that's like a decent regret. I guess I can kind of see that. And then we talked about it for a little bit longer, and then maybe, gosh, I don't know, probably like a week or two later, like less than a month after that, we were like hanging out, and things are going well, and I thought. And then like I went back home. I was still living not here. I was like in Globe at the time, obviously. And I get a text, like a long text that's like, "Hey, like you're great. Things have been nice, but I still have feelings for my ex." And I was like, "Oh, great. That's awesome.
Good news.
That's perfect."
That's exactly what someone wants to hear.
So I'm gonna go be seeing my ex. I was like, oh, and I guess I'm imagining it from Christopher's perspective, because he met her, and then he went back to Boston, and then he was like, so hey, how things are going? And I was like, oh yeah, no, she's with her ex. And just the only detail that he really knew about her was that the one thing she regretted was going back to her ex.
And
And
she
that's
decided
how
to go back
and
to
then
him.
sometimes ended. That's how that went.
Sometimes the comfort of the known is just overwhelms any possibility of the unknown.
Sure. So
Did you remember to put a line?
I did.
In there?
I'm not proud of it. I don't think it was a very good one, but I think you could guess it.
I literally forgot every detail
Every
of the story as soon as you told it. Was it In-N-Out actually, or was it somewhere else?
It wasn't an out. That was.
It was.
Yeah.
That's the
You
only
can have
detail
you
of
can
the
have one
story
more.
I
Yeah.
remember.
I got two, so I feel like you should have two.
I don't remember anything else. I remember you're like, oh, you went on with this girl, and then you guys went on In-N-Out, and like Christopher was there, and then she went back to her ex. And I don't
That's
know
the
where
gist.
in all of that, where the lie would be.
Do you want me to I tell you?
Go ahead.
It was just Tim wasn't there. I said Tim was there, and he wasn't.
Oh, I don't even remember that part of the story.
Maybe I didn't say it. Maybe we both did the same thing.
Who knows? Editing Ty, as you're watching this, did both of us forget to put our lies in the story?
Was this the worst segment of
Are we
Haystack
both
Lie?
idiots?
In the history of Haystack Lie, let us know in the comments down below.
Comment down below if you think both of us are idiots. Or maybe one of us actually did remember to put it in our story and the other person just didn't remember, and now we're here.
I vote that it was me, but who knows?
I was just like, my dream is to own the Instagram, like at Cherin.
At Cherin.
It doesn't matter if my
I don't
Venmo
know. I gotta be honest. Cherin JPG is better than Cherin. I understand the draw of wanting just your name, because that's everybody would want that. But I think Cherin JPG is like a solid Instagram name.
been that way for a long time. I've had the same username for like I've tried to switch back and forth, but I always end up going back to Cherin.jpg. Shout out to at Cherin.
Yeah. Go ahead.
JPG.
This is the end of the podcast. Plug your
not
social.
Post very often.
What's your Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter.
What's your Facebook? And give me your Instagram. Let us know.
It doesn't matter because we're all in quarantine. So.
Well, everybody, I think this is it. This is a bit of a long one. We've been going for a while. Yeah.
How long has it been?
The second
I really
half
have
is
to pee,
the second half has been an hour. So you go pee. I'll send it out.
You're gonna edit this all together, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pretend that we actually included our lives in our stories?
Sure. Do you trust me?
Cheers to remembering to lie.